Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back. Your boy Papa Shro is once again in the film room. We're going to break down this week one film review. This is going to be the defense only. The offense will be later on in the week, as I just picked out way too many plays to break down, go over, honestly, to fit this into one video. This defensive breakdown is probably going to be longer than the offensive breakdown, and just a ton of film. I've really been enjoying just going through the film and watching, kind of what the Chiefs are putting on film early on in the season. Obviously, it's going to be a ton different by the time we get later in the season, into the playoffs, all that good stuff. But I am excited to get into these film breakdowns. And again, this is week one, opening night against Baltimore. Strictly defensive breakdown. So let's go straight into this first drive for the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Great pressure by George Karlaftis right here. Better pocket presence by Lamar to step up and was able to get that protection to get that pass off into the flat to Justice Hill, which was a huge problem for the Chiefs all night in this game. Justice Hill, 6 catches for 52 yards on the evening. And right here, we're going to see Steve Spagnuolo and the crazy things that he likes to do on defense to create different pressures and simulated pressures. Didn't work out in this moment, but Turk Wharton right there that I just highlighted is going to drop back into coverage right here. And I think that essentially Justice Hill should have been his assignment right here. He kind of steps back and takes the middle away from, I want to say that's Bateman, over the middle, and leaves Justice Hill wide open with the sideline. Tries to come over and make a tackle. Great job by Turk trying to get to the ball, but just not able to get over there and leaves him wide open. Kind of also just reading Lamar's eyes. I won't say that he's necessarily spying right here, but he's probably ready for Lamar to take off and to try to somewhat limit that, push him back towards more Chiefs defenders. But I feel like coverage pretty solid right here. Nothing too much with the quick pressure. Lamar feeling it, ready to get the ball off, and you only have, 2 other receivers downfield on this play? 3 other receivers, excuse me. And everybody's pretty much taken out of this play. You got one spot kind of over here where possibly you have something. And that right there is probably what holds Turk over, because Leo Chanel is taking off back here, which should have had safety help. So just kind of a breakdown in coverage, and the Chiefs don't get hit with any huge play, but a big enough play to give the Baltimore Ravens a first down right there. And that kind of plagued them through the night. I feel like there was a lot of dump-offs, and Lamar Jackson, 10 yards and in, that's including behind the line of scrimmage, 21 of 23 on the night against Kansas City Chiefs. He did a great job, finding somebody open that could have some space and be able to let the play develop, essentially. This a little bit later on the opening drive, this was the big play for Lamar Jackson right here, just a simple option, I think. And I think the Chiefs kind of bailed out for Derrick Henry. I don't blame him. Derrick Henry did not have a big night, but I mean, the way that the edge over here, and I can't tell if I think that's Malik Herring over there at 94, that is basically taking Henry. Great fake by Lamar, but I mean, you can see Herring, he's going to take that line of direction, got a blocker in front of him. Lamar is just going to scoot to the outside and make a big play happen right there. That was huge early on. And this first drive for the Ravens, I think, was absolutely the best drive of the game for them. I don't really think they put another drive together quite like they did on that opening drive. That was obviously capped off with the Derrick Henry touchdown, and that play really led to that touchdown. Now we're getting here into the second drive of the game for the Ravens offense, and this was a good play. Kind of, I feel like, helped set the tone. It felt like this was kind of the tone of the evening. They did not let Derrick Henry run, especially in these heavy formations that the Baltimore Ravens were running. I say Henry probably should cut that back further inside, at least. Possibly you kind of have a one-on-one matchup with Reed, who's going to obviously break on the ball if Derrick Henry does take this route back out this way. That was a terrible arrow, but you get what I'm trying to get at here. Of he does have some blocking and does have a hole kind of back to the outside. Derrick Henry just tries to muscle his way through pretty tight hole. And I mean, I get you don't have anyone to block Justin Reed on that side, but I think that does help out the Chiefs defense right here. Leo Chanel, Turk Wharton able to get in on a big tackle right there and to stuff Derrick Henry for a very minimal gain. And so now we see the play action off of that. And this hurt the Chiefs early, I feel like, because that play action right here, they leave Likely wide open. And Isaiah Likely had a huge night in this game. That's a big gain right there. Very good tackle by Brian Cook. But just the way the defense reacts kind of to this play action right here, you get all three linebackers coming down, ready for a run. I mean, you've got Tranquil here, Bolton here, Chanel here. Everybody is ready to pounce on the run. And now you've got everybody on their heels. And what Isaiah Likely does right here to Justin Reed, he's just going to shrug him off and simply go the other way. He's got the inside leverage the whole way and just straight shakes him off of the route. I don't know if they're in 5 yards. He kind of a little bit of contact, but they're playing physical ball. I don't think that there's anything wrong with that right there. Great play by Isaiah Likely. Great tackle in the open field by Brian Cook. I've definitely been critical of Brian Cook's tackling, and that was a great tackle right there and saved an even bigger gain on a big play. Go right back to the flat. This is still that second drive, and this is a big play right here by Justin Reed to make this tackle and force a fourth down where they were kind of going to the same kind of thing, right? They're going to the flat. It's kind of an easy route, and the Chiefs weren't defending it well. And I mean, even here, they don't do a great job of defending it, but again, the tackling. And I feel like if you've watched my film breakdowns enough and heard me talk about the Chiefs enough, everybody can tackle on this team. And it makes this defense very dangerous in situations like that because they can kind of slack off in coverage in certain positions like that in the flat where Justin Reed knows he's going to come up and make a tackle. He's going to come and finish that play up and be able to, stop him in his tracks, basically. This now into the third drive of the game, and this was the big strip sack by Chris Jones, just blowing right past his assignment on the offensive line. I think it was 64 who ended up on the ground right there was the guy that was blocking Chris Jones. Does a great job. You got Leo Chanel coming over to the edge, Bolton coming over. So and again, going back to what we just watched, the way Spags sets these things up. I mean, there are 4 Chiefs. Chanel, Karlaftis, Chris Jones over here. To 3 guys for the Ravens. And I do believe this is Mark Andrews over here on the side. Yeah, so you got 1 tight end. So, I mean, obviously he's going to have to chip, if anything. And that just sets up, because, I mean, look at this other side. You have got 2 Chiefs defenders. 2 guys on the line on the right side for essentially 4 linemen. Obviously, that right guard is going to slide over and help out. But, I mean, it's just these things of you don't know who's dropping back up off into coverage. You don't know who's actually coming on a blitz. What you're going to see here. And Chanel essentially is going to be the guy that's going to take that tight end route if it happens. Karlaftis goes all the way outside. I mean, just by this picture right here, just the still image. I mean, Chris Jones has everybody beat right there. And he is headed straight for Lamar. I don't know what that was there. Mouse kind of freaked out. But, I mean, there's not much you can do. And leaving one of my favorite things, and shout out to Ray because I've told him this multiple times. One of my favorite things is this, when you get this right here. Somebody just doesn't know what to do. Where am I going? I guess that's your running back, but who do I chip? Where am I going? I'm going to this side of the formation, just get out into a route. Chris Jones just gets there too quick. Lamar tries to make a move, trying to be able to step up, maybe just get the ball away. He does have a receiver over the middle of the field right here that maybe he can hit, and I'll go back to the other view just to see kind of what the coverage was looking like on the other side of things. I mean, that's a pretty deep pass. I mean, you've got him open. That's Zay Flowers over there. But with that kind of pressure, I mean, that's a tough pass to make right there. Not a lot of guys are going to be able to make that throw. Chris Jones does an absolutely terrific job. And just one more time, I'm going to let this roll because you start from just a base defense right here. Everybody starts moving around. Or gets up, pointing around. Oh, that's actually the fullback over there. That wasn't Mark Andrews. So the fullback comes out to sit in on that right side to help out. And again, they only bring 2 rushers. And that was Mike Pennell in the middle, 69 for the Chiefs. But you only get 2 guys rushing the quarterback. But at this point, everybody's so confused. And right here from the guard, I mean, even just watching how the guard reacts to this right here. So you've got the guard right here trying to help out. But, like, what do you really do? Well, Jones is getting that outside leverage right there. And he tries to get to the other side, just not quick enough. Just not quick enough. Chris Jones is playing at an insane level right now for the Kansas City Chiefs. It's been awesome to see. And already some Defensive Player of the Year being talked about with him. Another one, going back to the tackling. This is 4th down. And I think Baltimore did kind of fall in love with those flat routes at some point in this game because they were working so well. And they go to it here trying to get Zay Flowers just into some space. And just McDuffie is not having it. McDuffie passes off his initial assignment, sees the play coming from a mile away, makes the tackle, stops Zay Flowers short, gets help from his other defenders, and that's a turnover on downs right there. Huge play. Just a quick, flat route, and McDuffie makes this play. The way that McDuffie passed off on the receiver here, that he's got one-on-one, and I think that also goes back to just what a great team effort this is from the Chiefs. They trust in one another. They believe in one another. McDuffie absolutely believes he's going to have help from a safety, and you see, I think that's Reed coming down right here to help out if that was going to go for anything. Ball's already been thrown, and McDuffie's able to come in and make a tackle and make a big play. That was a huge play in this game at that moment. This is the 4th drive for the Baltimore Ravens in the game, and I think at that point just had the 7 points. May have tacked on a field goal. I can't remember exactly. So now we jump to this 3rd drive, and this is a big 3rd down play. Again, a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure and able to stall another drive. And again, sometimes it just becomes hard to figure out where everybody's going, where everybody's moving. As you saw, if you did see, 23, Drew Tranquil is essentially playing safety right here. You got Tranquil over here, and you got Justin Reed staying in the middle. And I just feel like the way that Spags kind of moves guys around, and that's why a lot of these players like Reed, Tranquil, Bolton to a point. Obviously, Bolton has his lapses in coverage, but the interchangeability of some of these guys. Shamari Connor, I mean, the man can play corner, the man can play safety, he can play anywhere you want. He can play on the line of scrimmage. You saw it in the Super Bowl. Got a huge tackle for loss playing essentially on the edge. But all of these interchangeable pieces, you never know who's doing what. And another guy, Turk Wharton, is having an amazing season as well, I think. I was definitely high on Turk Wharton towards the end of the year last year, and that's Carl Loftus on the other side. And you even got Leo Chanel essentially playing edge right here. Because you've just got 3 down linemen right here and Leo Chanel playing edge essentially, which he also did that a couple of times in this last game. Why can I not? The Chargers game. I saw that mentioned a couple of times on Twitter of Leo Chanel, the edge rusher. But great job to get pressure. It freed up George Karlaftis to get around and get his pressure. And mind you, Chris Jones is over here getting double teamed, and that's able to open up everybody else essentially. Leo Chanel creates a double team to get Karlaftis freed up on the outside. Turk Wharton just blows past his guy, blows up the play. Lamar tries to get something out of it. He can't hit Rashad Bateman right there. McDuffie was ready to make the tackle anyways. I mean, Spags is just a mastermind, man. All right, these next couple of drives, really get some big plays from a few of the guys we were talking about, or I was talking about over the offseason, on some of the film breakdowns that I did over the offseason, kind of gearing up for this season. And the first one is Leo Chenal right here. Leo Chenal starts essentially on the defensive line right here, with Turk Wharton, George Karlaftis over here on the left side, Turk in the middle, and then Chris Jones rushing on the outside. They only brought 3 right here. And Leo Chenal's just simply going to stop, back up, and get into a passing lane. Does a perfect job. Great job right there. Just enough time to kind of free up Turk of any kind of double team. You got the right guard moving over to the right, and I mean, you've got, I think this is Hill in the backfield right here, ready to chip. Again, going back to the, I don't know what to do. Where do I go here? Because you've got one-on-one across the board on the left side, which isn't great because you got one-on-one with Chris Jones. Karlaftis is going one-on-one over here. The right guard is kind of just not really sure what to do in this situation, which is always fun to watch. He ends up just backing up, holding his position. Turk ends up getting double-teamed as Leo Chenal backs up and gets right in the passing lane to Justice Hill. This drive was 8 targets, 6 catches. This drive was the 2 targets that didn't connect, as there's an incompletion right after this. This is right at the end of the first half. Leo Chenal does just an absolutely perfect job to be able to back up. And I'm assuming that he was kind of a spy / over the middle kind of guy right there, as he kind of gives that pressure in the beginning, looks like he's coming, backs up. Great job. Next one we're going to get from the next drive. I think this is the first drive of the second half, and FAU does a great job to get over and make this tackle. I saw a lot of discourse, too, on FAU of just kind of not really... there's a lot of Chiefs fans that were not big fans of FAU, I feel like. And I think that he's definitely has been a developmental project. It wasn't George Karlaftis who came on and did such a great job his rookie year and has really progressed into a really good pass rusher. But I definitely think there's a lot of intangibles with FAU. And, I mean, this play shows it. Turns around, gets straight to the ball carrier. And it's Zay Flowers right here that they go on a wide receiver screen. But FAU does a great job, I think, right here, because he's got one-on-one with the left tackle here. Gets over, left tackle just gets off of his block, continues to run. Derrick Henry's right in front of him now. He's not trying to block. That's when the light bulb goes off. Okay. Obviously, he's seeing Lamar throw the ball as well, but boom. Okay, we got a situation where the ball is going behind me the other way. Turns around, immediately starts running straight to the ball carrier. Makes a great tackle as well. All the intangibles are there. He does a great job on that play and makes the play in the end. This one right here on the 7th drive for the Ravens, again, going back to that, what we saw on the first drive of the work in the flats by the Baltimore Ravens and how good it was for the Ravens in this game. Justice Hill, again, just has a monster game. Justice Hill's going to start on the right side, just works his way through the line, through the rush, pressure getting there, and no one really there. Good concept here against the zone, I think, because they get Bateman across to kind of stretch Bolton's zone. As he's going to go that way, Bolton is obviously watching him, seeing where he's going, so that kind of sticks him in place. All the while, Justice Hill is just going to sneak out here and find some space. Great job, and great way to draw it up for the Ravens right there. Bolton is essentially stationary, which, I don't know. I feel like, obviously, DB trying to get back to their zone. I think this is Josh Williams right here, as he's working to get back to his zone up the field, just because if, Bateman's crossing, I think they're kind of assuming at least one of these guys crosses back over the middle of the field, essentially this way. Don't judge me too hard on my line work here, but I think that he's just trying to get back to help out on that, and that just frees up that space right there that Bolton is not able to get back to. And Justice Hill makes a huge play, big first down to get on down the field. This view here, I think, shows this play a little bit better. and just to show where Justice Hill kind of works his route perfectly, right in between Mark Andrews, who's playing left tackle essentially right here, bounces out, finds the open space. I mean, there's not a Chiefs defender really in the same space at all right there. The seventh drive was big. The seventh drive was big. This is when Baltimore starts to try to go deep. And right here, Chamari Connor does an amazing job playing great coverage one-on-one. It's pretty much a 50-50 ball here that they're going to give to Likely. Yeah, that's Isaiah Likely. But Chamari Connor does a great job. Just following Likely, takes it the whole way, and being able to see the field. I mean, if you watch my Chamari Connor film breakdown, I'll link that in the description below, because what Chamari Connor does, I mean, it's just like he's everywhere at all times. And I remember being up in the stands watching this, and me and one of the guys that sits in the row above me was saying the same thing, how it's just like Chamari Connor's everywhere, all over the field. I can't remember if that was during the Bengals game or during this game. I think it was during this game, but Chamari Connor's just everywhere. He does an amazing job. He's playing safety up here at the top, and he's just kind of reading these three receivers of the Ravens right here to kind of see who's going where, who's doing what, and what route he is going to take. Ends up being Likely, and does a great job to just stay with him the entire way. Likely's kind of playing that inside almost like a slot receiver. You know, Travis Kelce-esque right there on the inside. Chamari Connor does a great job. Only thing he could have done better was intercept the ball. Isn't quite able to do that. Would have been a tough play. And hey, if he would have picked it off, I'd say throw Chamari Connor at wide receiver at this point, with the Chiefs and where they're at with receivers. So right here, going back, and let's take it back to the first quarter, back to the play earlier on this exact same drive. I think you have a better shot at hitting in stride, but again, this may go back to essentially what has happened. And this is one reason why I knew this film breakdown was going to be a long time when I looked at all the clips that I'd saved for the defensive side of the ball. But it just goes to show, how the Chiefs worked through the game. I think they made Lamar almost scared to go to that check down, because I do believe this is third down right here. Almost scared to go to that check down because you do have a man in space ready to make that tackle, essentially. So instead, he goes with the one-on-one over the top, and Jalen Watson, I mean, he just swatted that ball right out of there. But I do think that Lamar has an opening there in the flat. It's Mark Andrews is what it looks like over there. You're not going to be able to see it very well. And Chamari Connor. And Chamari Connor he's up there with one of the best tacklers on this defense, I do believe. And, I mean, I don't think that you could really get that much more picture perfect than Jalen Watson did right there. I mean, that is just stellar. Gets his hand straight in the middle. He just swats that thing out of there. I remember being up in the stands and seeing that play and just thinking, man, he swatted the hell out of the ball right there on that play. And Zay Flowers couldn't believe it. I mean, Jalen Watson, just an amazing play. And this whole secondary, I mean, they put it together well, I feel like. And the different things that they do, and all of these guys' skill set with how well they tackle, how well they're able to defend. And Spags is not afraid to leave guys one-on-one. Now, in the past, it's been a little bit of trouble. I.e. the Jamar Chase game where it seemed like Charvarius Ward was just man-to-man coverage with Jamar Chase the entire day, and like that is how that happened. But, Spags is not afraid to put his guys on an island and let them go to work. All right, you got to look at the bad with the good, and this was easily the worst play of the evening. That Rashard Bateman one toward the end of the game was also pretty rough, but this one right here, easily the roughest play of the game for the Kansas City Chiefs. Great job. Great job getting pressure right here. Nobody's open, but this right here, Bolton's got to do a better job at being able to. It just felt like, I don't know, he's got to do a better job at committing, it kind of felt like. And Bolton is one of the better tacklers on the team as well. But right here, I mean, he just cannot let Likely get away from him. Likely was pretty slippery all night, I feel like. We saw earlier in this film review and breakdown, the Justin Reed play. Does a great job of kind of doing the same thing, just gets Bolton off of him, big backwards juke right there. Big time touchdown. This also, though, on this play, which absolutely fantastic play, but the Ravens didn't put together a lot of drives in this game. And one thing towards the end of the game that made me feel at least comfortable and a little bit, confident, pretty confident in this Chiefs defense, was the fact that Baltimore really didn't put together a whole lot all night. Great pressure right there, but I mean, that throw. All right, let's go back and watch that throw one more time, because I mean, that throw was just absolutely terrific. On the run, over George Karlaftis, gets his hands up, and just places that ball perfect. I saw a lot of discourse about how Josh Allen, he threw the best ball of the night on the one play that he made in the Sunday night game against Baltimore and Buffalo. I mean, that one looked like almost a little bit more difficulty to it than the one that Josh Allen threw. I get Josh Allen was all the way at the sideline, but getting that over Karlaftis into Isaiah Likely's hands, I mean, perfect placement right there. Because, I mean, Bolton was there. Perfect placement. But going back to what I was saying is, Baltimore just did not put together too many solid drives. That first drive was about the only drive they had that was solid. There was some broken plays in there that they scored on. That was obviously the biggest broken play that they scored on. They only scored 2 touchdowns on the night, so they put together one drive to score a touchdown. Ended up with a short yardage Derrick Henry touchdown, and then of course that broken play. So right here we're gonna go back to our film breakdowns that we did over the offseason. I'll probably link this Leo Chanel one down below as well, because this is exactly what I talked about in that film breakdown. Was with Willie Gay going to New Orleans, we were going to see Leo probably jump into that spiral a little bit more, and this is exactly what happened. And kind of going back to that play with Justice Hill, where I think that it was more of a spy than it was he was playing coverage. I mean, he didn't back up to play coverage on Justice Hill. I think that was just a spy. He got in the passing lane, played it very smart, and was able to bat that ball away. And right here, I mean, Lamar just not able to get away from Leo Chanel. And I do think this is the very next play. I can't remember for sure off the top of my head. And same thing right here. Leo Chanel's just going to spy, does a great job keeping Lamar in front of him. Big time tackle. This is the 9th drive right here for the Ravens, trying to push to get this game evened up. Decent little bit of pressure. At least Lamar feels it. Chris Jones not able to do too much on this play. Just a 3-man rush, which it's hard to bring more than 3 guys, I feel like, when you're spying every time. So, and with Lamar, I mean, you pretty much have to spy, right? You pretty much have to spy. So let's get into this last drive of the game, and this one was that play where everybody was just like, Lamar just straight missed him. It's a terrible throw. Should have hit it. No, it's miscommunication. That is what it is. And they explained it after the game. And I do believe it's just kind of a miscommunication. Lamar thought he was going to kind of sit down in that zone right there. Zay Flowers kept it moving. Zay is essentially just going to run a big crossing route right here, up to the back of the end zone, and just cross, basically. Good route. Runs a good route. But at the same time, and I think the veteran, you got a second-year guy. Zay Flowers is still young in this game, right? Finds a seam. And, I mean, the middle of the field is wide open. Middle of the field's wide open right there. Just straight missed him. Zay just kept on going. And, I mean, maybe you get a chance where he kind of gets in there and is able to work his way across the field. But from where you're throwing at, I think that's the smartest thing to do. And it's something that, film breakdowns all last year that I've done, and something I talk about a lot of, and Travis Kelce. The way he does that. He'll just sit down in a soft spot in the zone where the Chiefs like to find their receivers. A great IQ of, where those soft spots in the zones are going to be. Rashee Rice had done a great job of that so far in the season, of some of the things that he's been able to do. Great job by Lamar Jackson to get away from the pressure. Making that throw under pressure. Chris Jones is right there. Great play all around by the defense right there. They did have a little bit of a lapse in coverage. And I do think that Lamar went back to it right here. Because about the same exact spot in the field and the same kind of soft spot in the zone. Now, right here, Lamar is just working his way to get away from any pressure he can. And this was another throw that was just absolutely beautiful by Lamar Jackson. You got Isaiah Likely alone at the top of this frame. And I mean, again, flashback to the Zay Flowers play. I'm just going to leave this. I'm going to leave that circle there for a moment. We're going to go back to this play and just look at how. Well, a little bit different camera angle, so doesn't really work out as well for me as what I was trying to do there. I don't think that worked out very well either. But you get the idea. There, it's about the exact same place in the field on what I labeled the toe play. Obviously, Isaiah Likely makes a great play. Obviously, the toe isn't in bounds. Whole foot isn't in bounds. Lamar makes an amazing throw right here and, gets away from the pressure. Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things, kind of playing Houdini back there. Which way did he go? Confused. Really, at the end of the day, I feel like he's just working on Chris Jones right there. I mean, Chris Jones gets the pressure. Lamar sees it pretty quickly and essentially just does a little spin move in the pocket, rolling around. Which way can I go? Where can I go? Moving up, and then fires a strike to the back of the end zone. And no one really around Likely, but I mean, even right here on this one, I mean, I feel like you pretty clearly see that toe right there is over the line. I don't know. You be the judge. It's pretty obviously over the line. Great game for the Chiefs in week 1. I felt like defense did its job. They limited the big plays. There's a few of them in there. They limited the big runs, although Lamar Jackson did end up over 100 yards rushing. I feel like they just stayed within themselves. They played within themselves, and they were able to mitigate any, long drives. We saw the first one, and we've seen that all season long. The first drive, it seems like every team is, just killing the Chiefs on the opening drive. I mean, first drive of the game, the Chiefs have given up a combined 24 points in 4 games, 3 touchdowns and a field goal against the Falcons. So we'll see how this plays out. If you watch to the end of the video, make sure you smash that like button. Smash that subscribe button for me as well. We're still on the road to 300 right now. Smash the bell as well. Stay notified for whenever I post any of these film breakdowns. I'm going to have film breakdowns trying to come each week, get them out as quick. I'm shocked at how quick the NFL is putting the film out. I feel like this is a couple days after the Chargers game, and the next day the film was available. So I'm gonna try to get on top of it and get these out quicker, as well as probably gonna break these down between. We'll see, but with the NFL Pro platform, it makes it so easy. And I had like 20 plays I picked out from the defense alone. So the offensive film breakdown will be coming later on in the week from this week 1 game, and we'll just keep going from there. So again, I appreciate it if you liked it and you watched it all the way to the end. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. We'll see you in the next film breakdown.